A Wonder-Filled Life by Darby. A man had recently moved to a small town. He was very much a stranger there. As was his custom, he would take his dog for a walk in the early evening. It was bright, sunny, and warm. He decided to explore the part of town accessed only through a long, narrow alleyway. It led him to a completely different type of housing. The dog seemed to enjoy this new adventure. On his walk he came across a remarkable property. He had never seen one like it. It was like an extreme tree house, with lots of unusual extensions and rooms which jutted out, except this was on the ground. He paused to reflect. His dog waited patiently. A workman was walking by. The man could not stop himself commenting, "I don't know how he got planning permission for that crazy house. What a mess!" The workman replied that although it looked like a house, it was actually his friend's life, and that on this part of the estate houses weren't homes, rather they were people's lives. The man was curious. "Tell me more." The workman started to explain that everyone in this place begins with a smallish starter, like a small bedsit, cabin-sized, and that as your life progressed, God would allow you encounters with different people to help them. As you did so, it was like adding another room onto your house. Again the man's curiosity got the better of him. "Why is it such a strange shape?" he asked. "There are no other houses around here like this." The workman replied, "It all started in Sunday school. He became a teacher there, and then started to live out what he was teaching. Initially he added that room on the left. That is a love room for visiting his aunt in the nursing home. She had dementia. Then the room at the top was when he increased his love capacity to share with children orphaned by HIV and AIDS in Africa. The extension at the rear was going out and sharing the love of Jesus with unwanted youths who were hanging out on street corners. The basement was when he responded to the need of the hungry immigrants and unemployed by starting a food bank. And this one on the left is the club he and his friends started for Alzheimer's sufferers and their carers. Then there are the addicts he writes to, the short-term fostering of children with mild autism, and so it goes on. It's a work in progress, but it just keeps on growing." "You haven't mentioned a prayer room. Where does he worship God?" The workman explained that his friend didn't need a special room, as the whole house was an expression of worship, and that anyone, when they knew him, recognized that he was praying without ceasing. That's why God sent him so many. The man was astonished. He lowered his voice in humility. "Even though it is so ugly and messy, it's amazing that one life can make such a difference to so many." The man came back to his senses and asked who had paid for all this. The workman replied, "Love paid for it. That's what love does. It is attracted to the lowest, the least, and the lost, and then it reaches for a creative answer to their problems. Love's capacity always expands. Money almost seems irrelevant." It started to go dark as black clouds rolled in. "I'd better go. There's a storm brewing." "No, wait. Shelter here with me under this large tree. I think that something's going to happen. You wouldn't want to miss this." The dog looked restless, but the man agreed. A light shower quickly became a storm, and then a tempest. The couple edged closer to the center of the tree. The dog lay down and nestled his head at his master's feet. Then a fireball struck the building. The couple watched open-mouthed. The dog nestled even closer to his master. Flames of many colors began to devour the house, but its neighbors were untouched. Much of the external fabric was consumed by the heat. A plume of smoke drifted into the distance. Dust and ash were blown away. As it cleared, it was evident that the structure of the house remained. As heavy rain continued, waters rose to the front step and washed away all the debris which had fallen from the house. As quickly as the storm had come, it departed. The sun and complementary rainbow shone brightly, and revealed that each room had either walls of gold or walls of silver, and in some places there were jewels inset into the walls which glistened in the evening sunlight. The dog stood up and started to wag his tail. "What has happened?" "My friend has died, and the bits that didn't matter have been burnt up, washed away, and what is left will bring glory for eternity." There was a pause. "Can I come and live here?" the man asked. "Yes, of course," he smiled. "Each person gets a free plot. Jesus made it possible. You just leave your old life behind, then come and live in the kingdom of God."